to just 2. In a similar boat with APG in those moments. Smile gets taken down by Ragnar. A match point might just not be found in this match as Yangon Galacticos are out.
A sigh of relief for many other teams in the lobby with Power pulling off that play. Their eyes lighting up as they see the Elim feed starting to fill with Yangon's name. But for Alpha, the journey continues. Fragmented though, down to the 2 players, just Doc and Reefus that are trapped apart from one another. Bullets out from Reefus onto the back of Doc C. He's trying to take the peaks on this.
Tough game now for Alpha Gaming, just the 2 players. This is really rough. Reefus hits the deck also. This is Alter Ego, almost about to lose Krypton at distance from Tizzy. Out in the blue. You'd be furious if you're Alter Ego. This was a very, very good opportunity for them to catch up in the rankings.
For Nonshin, I don't think this will be a Dr. Dre play. They won't forget about Doc trapped in behind the rocks. Fire Flux taking the head-to-head versus Regnum Karia with a third party from Team Secret as well. Tizzy. He's already shown us how much turmoil he can cause in this lobby with the shots over onto Krypton of Alter Ego. You get the replay here of a very important fight as well. That was Power versus Yangon that resulted in them going out.
Alter Ego's doing great work. Moana with a big nade. Hits the double. Alva's been taking some nice shots from Alter Ego, and that's outside in the blue, making the most of this zone, but he knows he's got to get back in because just like that, the play zone was doing a huge amount of damage. I think he just about made it through, but that's another great nade from Tizzy over towards Rosemary, leaving them down to just the 1 player. Where is that nade going? Got no more left now. Wasn't able to confirm over towards Rosemary. Alva's back up on his feet. Moana's dropping the smokes.
Tizzy's trying to get in close range. Wants to put the shot into good use. Tag from the side. Alva gets the visual on him. Nade up from the teammate. Good peek back in. It's Binny in the back that hits heavy with the DBS. You're going for the pickup. The car drives by. Moana runs into the barrel and goes down. See you later, Alter Ego.
Almost all of our big ticket teams are down now. Regnum Kaya, DRX, Alter Ego, Weibo. But it's Alpha Gaming, surprisingly getting Reefus back up on their feet. This game's not done yet for this squad.
It seems like they smell blood in the water off the fight from Alter Ego. The bounce on the nade. That one's going to arc you back up and get you a little bit clammy in the hands. Reefus has 4 nades of his own to reply with. Casts one in close. Binny rocks over. They can play off one another. That's the manpower advantage they have. And Reefus, he's on an island. The nade bouncing over the top as well. Reply with a molly to force him out of position. He's being burnt, cooked in position. They just need to get close to finish him.
Gets tagged by the flames as well, and that will be Reefus going down here. Now just Doc, the big man himself. 27 elims during the playoffs. It is a massive result for a singular player here. Can he hold his own? At least get themselves some more points going into the next match to make that match point slightly easier. For Yangon Galacticos, it's 8 that they need to breach. In our first angle of the day, and Doc's out, and it's Power of all the teams to make it happen. Making these games interesting, taking down both Yangon and APG, the Giant Slayers.
Heavy is the hand from Power today, as they are running through these teams. They take the fight to 4 thrives from distance as well. Confidence to split. It's easy that was able to strip Falak out of the competition.
4 thrives, not doing too badly on this match. 9 eliminations. Good result for them. Nice shot through from IQ. Once again over towards Easy, being left behind as Vahedon has to wrap back round again to wrap Vahedon with bandages. Get Easy back up on his feet as quickly as possible because this blue is starting to push in and it hits hard. That might be both of them going down. In fact, Vahedon's very lucky to get out of there as quickly as he did.
Had me scared, man. The drive through the blue, the wide turning circle. The play zone still going to nip at the heels of Easy as well. So it's starting to go south for Power bit by bit. 4 thrives taken to pieces as well. Team Secret engage on top of them. Nongshim Red Force just watching, biding their time. You've got the 2-player push-up close towards the Falcons that are catching whiff of this.
Cole and Ralph. Deadly duo here. The IGL. And the slayer of squads, Koa himself. Good nade up from Zizzy. More Molotovs thrown through, just delaying what Falcons can do here. The blue's going to force them out into unfavorable engagement between them. There's a car coming in.
Nice Team Secret having a bit of a scout on that one. See if they want to commit to it. Zizzy on the peek up, only able to grab one. The boa constrictor himself poises. It's back. Oh, straight into the nade. And goodbye, Falcons. As Team Secret shut them down. Power are still in play, but of course, it's only that duo that remains alive right now.
Team Secret whispering death in the ears of these other teams. A nade over the top, it looks to go fairly long, bounces over the top, a huge amount of damage off the back of that one. No team is inside the circle. Nongshim Red Force taking this time to move out towards the south side and get some big angles. Another nade up towards the backside of Power there, should be going down now. Ragnar attempts to deny the points, but it's slightly late. It's Team Secret up against Nongshim, a 3v3.
So many wide open sight lines to work with. Zizzy realizes he's got to get up close and provide some cover for himself, but it's an instant connection. First man falls, leaving only 2. They can't play to get him back up. They've got to focus on the crosshairs instead.
That will be Nongshim Red Force taking the first chicken dinner of the day. What a fantastic result for them. I mean, to be quite frank, from their region, Nongshim Red Force plays extremely strange throughout this entire tournament. It's a whole different style because we're used to very defensive kind of plays from that region overall. But Nongshim Red Force shows us a completely different, deadly, angry side from that team.
We've seen them running headfirst into danger time and time again. This is another one of these games where they come out swinging. Exciting stuff, though, with Power causing that struggle in the lobby, taking the fight to the teams that are so close to that point barrier and making it uncomfortable, giving other squads a chance now.
They've just painted a target on their back.
Oh, yeah.
Power's made some very powerful enemies in this game. But I don't think they'll be stopping anytime soon. I like that they're just playing these games out with not a care in the world. They just want more points on board. But the same can be said for a lot more teams. Getting towards their angle. No team on match point just yet.
Cybertron's future is near. shroud a new load of Cybertron. Roll for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
Well, Nongshim Red Force here gets a big Sandhawk win to get them into day number 3 of the grand final here for PMWC, but also those top teams shut down to start off day number 3. Joining me, Neptura, as well as Maxman, to talk about this one. Max, Nongshim Red Force, actually, we spoke about it at the beginning of the day. These wins for these teams, even if they're not able to challenge for number 1 by the end of the day, this is still big wins potentially for these teams.
If you get in the top 5 at the end of today, you're going to make big money at the end of this one. So, of course, they had a ton of eliminations, get the 10 placement points. We'll have to see when the leaderboards pop up to see how much of an increase they really got. But Nongshim Red Force, if there's any point in time you want to get a win, it's right now, especially on the very last Sandhawk of this year currently when it comes to globals. So that's going to be a very impactful one for their team.
21 points go their way. Team Secret gets 13. 4 Thrives has come alive once again. But Nongshim Red Force here, Neptura, to focus on the winners here for a moment. They had the compound and they had some great transitions afterwards.
Yeah, I really liked how they played this, actually. You saw them take advantage of, in that zone, in the mid-game, one of the only easy entry points that circle had to offer. They actually had a split down onto the southwest side, blocking that entry point. You know, APG do come through a little bit, but those other teams, they had to actually fight to get into the zone. And so actually Nongshim were able to just farm eliminations after that.
I mean, the compound is quite good, though. You're looking at this first page of the leaderboards for this match. Guess who we're not seeing? No Yangon Galacticos, no Alpha Gaming.
Hooray!
They're not in the Smash Run just yet.
I want more games.
I want 6 games if we can. Going on to the second page, here you go. Yangon Galacticos, 2 eliminations. Alpha Gaming, 1 placement point. There's still enough time for these teams to try and play catch-up.
No, definitely. Only the 2, only the 1. So we will see a little bit of an opportunity here for the rest of this lobby to really do something about it. Again, it's it's an almost insurmountable try and catch up to where they are currently here, Neptura. But we've seen crazier things, like, for example, Alter Ego in a group stage day, right? 78 points on a day. So some of these teams are very capable of huge point gains.
Right, they are. And Alter Ego actually didn't have too bad of a game in that Sandhawk. So it is going to be interesting to see what they can do in the bigger maps in those Orangles, right? But yeah, Nongshim for Thrives, Team Secret as well, able to just push through those points, get as many eliminations as possible. It is nice to see that as we look over at the top damage dealers, we're seeing those names coming in, but none of them are the top teams.
You know what I'm seeing, Maxman?
Which one? What are you looking at?
Sandhawk numbers right now. This is...
Oh, I waited for that. That's been a while.
It has been a while, hasn't it? There's not, you know, some decent limbs here and there, but nothing huge coming out from our Sandhawk.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, these numbers are going to be very consistent between all the teams. Actually, I was talking about Nongshim Red Force. They're fighting, which is not quite what we see. Nongshim Red Force like to have a central compound. We wait, we chill, we get the points, we get a few eliminations that just naturally come our direction. No, here, actually, you mentioned it a little bit earlier here, Niptro. sweeping the western side, getting involved versus Alpha Gaming, versus the side of Alter Ego, trying to also third-party fights on the southern side. I think it was against Falcon. They were so involved. They're hungry for that massive prize pool increase in the leaderboards.
They're actually being proactive for once, which so far we've not seen from them at all. But you're right. You know, they're sweeping that southwest side. They're moving on to Alter Ego. They're clearing that team. They're moving back down to the south side. It did get a little bit hairy. I thought they took a little bit too long. They slowed right down up against Falcons. But once that was cleared, they were able to take advantage of this fight happening to regroup and then spread out again over the south side and able to take that chicken.
Yeah, I was going through the replays. I think one very important thing that needs to be stated about Nongshim Red Force is they were using the rocks to their full advantage. They were getting so many angles, and of course, when you're looking at Team Secret, you're looking at power. They're going downhill. They only have a few trees. If you have the off angles, there's really not much these teams can do against you. So Nongshim Red Force had a great map knowledge here at the end of this match.
Also a little bit of a dichotomy between a lot of their previous wins and this one, right? Because this one wasn't just sitting in a compound and waiting for the game to come to you. This was a bit more proactive from Nongshim Red Force.
It was. It was really nice that they took the zone rather than have the zone handed and still do something or not, as we've seen before. It was really nice that they were like, hey, that zone over there, it's ours. But here we go. Overall. Fourth place coming into this one game.
Okay, Max, they came in at what, 11th today?
They were in 11th position before this one. 11th place is $50,000 if you stay in that position at the end of today. If you are in 4th position and they remain there, that's $120,000. That's possibly a $70,000 chicken dinner that's just been secured by Nongshim Red Force.
That's terrifying. That is terrifying. I don't know if I could keep up with that kind of pressure. That's crazy stuff coming in from them. But again, look how close it is between all of those teams. Now again, to get this over the barrier here, Yangon and Alpha did not have a good start to today, so their points are barely shifted. Maybe an opportunity to try and catch up with them, but still all eyes will be focused on that position.
Wait, so I want to jump on this one. Fourth Rise also jumping up. They were initially in 8th position, if I'm not mistaken, with 68 points. So also pretty big jump. We said it, top 5. Nice. Prize point increase is significant for Pakistan. This first game was an absolute banger.
That'll be 100,000 or 110. I'm not quite sure. I'm not, without me checking it right now, but yeah, big jumps are still very much available here for PMWC. One question, whilst we take a look at our 9th through 16th as well here, Neptura, is that the last time we get to see Sandhawk for a while? Now that Rondo's coming in.
I'm so sad. Hey, it was a great Sandhawk to end on. Hey, yo.
I prefer Rondo. I'm happy.
No, it was a good one to end on. I think it was a really nice Sandhawk to end on. Yeah. The thing I want to mention, though, just very quickly, is that if I was APG, if I was Yangon after that game, I would be concerned because those 3rd to 6th teams all placed there, they were the ones who stepped up massively in this game. 4 Thrives, WBG were there. You had Nongshim Red Force as well, right? All those teams right behind starting to step up. What do we see in Erangel?
Well, let's look at it. Well, let's see who's been able to perform so far. Yangon Galacticos up at number 1 here for our Erangel so far. Weibo, though, Max, you've had your eyes on them to be able to do something?
I mean, yeah, their angles have been so good, but they just get a little bit too hyper-focused on specific fights. If they can see the bigger picture, possibly here, they can try and rise up to the occasion, actually start breaching that top 2 position. The prize point increase would also be quite significant getting into that top 2. But Weibo, I said it earlier, Suk, we love you with the explosive bow. Maybe it's time for the S12K. Maybe that change of weapon can actually give them an opportunity to have even more team fighting capabilities to rise up in the leaderboards.
For them, I'd also like to see them actually take a few better angles. I think they split up quite effectively, but I want to see a few more alter ego angles coming into that. I want to see that influence because I think those angles are so beneficial for certain teams that I think that actually Weibo would actually do well to be influenced by that. Let's
get to it then. We have 3 Erangels potentially here for the last day of PMWC as we head over to the grassy pastures for game number 2 of the day here with our commentators.
Thank you very much. Kale and everyone on the desk. It's been exciting and you can feel the anticipation at the storyline starting to build. But we appreciate you switching over to us so we can give you the breakdown. Of course, if you want to stay up to date in your own way and follow all of the action, head on over to the official map feed so you can check it out and follow it exactly how you'd want to with a full lay of the land. And you'd need it, Blank, because we are at the precipice of greatness for so many teams. Of course, though, because of that man on your screens and the incredible power roster taking the fight to our top dogs, they were starved out from being able to break into that 128 barrier.
But
going to keep tabs on these teams 100% because right now there is certain jump ups which, like Max says, are worth a whole lot of money. Nongshim Red Force, they can stay up towards the top of those tables. Might have just salvaged their performance here in the playoffs.
They very well might have. But it's time once again. Glue your eyes to your screen, strap yourself in with those seat belts that you're going to need, and keep your arms inside of this vehicle at all times as we're going back in to those beautiful, lush pastures that come before us. Let's get into this one, Blank, and see how things are going to start to shape up once again here today.
Right now we're at the vertical drop, just waiting for this ride to get underway as we're in the plane heading down from Kameshki all the way through to the western side in Quarry. While teams get themselves out in action, Weibo going to be out a little bit later down towards Primorsk unless they go for a slightly different drop here. Oh, but look at the drop in points right now, Jackie. 85 points down to 77 in 10th place. We've got triple 77s across the board from Regnum, Kaya, Power, and Ida here. Oh, it's nasty. Real nasty.
Whole lot of sevens, but will they be lucky? That's the question. Or will it be the wrath of some of our top players back out, proving they're the top dogs in the lobby again today? Doc has been living up to the name. It has been surgically clean.
Three players that we talked about a lot here, Doc, Rosemary, Falak, all putting on a performance of a lifetime in this one. Davot with a 405 meters. I think that's breaking the record. Crazy stuff coming through. Nongshim Red Force straight down towards the south side, looting around yellows. Falcons, as per usual, in Pochinki. But check out this circle, heading directly southeast into the uncomfortable trees, the dead woods. Will these teams be able to get themselves out alive, though? And across that match point barrier, not possible for teams in 3rd and 4th place at the moment. All eyes on Yango and APG.
You see them parachuting in here. The Alpha squad that have shown us that they mean business. An uncomfortable rotate for them back on Sandhawk that resulted in a fragmentation of that team, Blank. Start down just to Doc before they were taken out of the runnings.
But a comfortable rotate here, actually, if they can head down towards Sosnovka military base. They're fully committed for this one. I think that maybe in different times they wouldn't go for it. Fourth Rise are at their back, though, so they need to get a move on, get sprinting at the moment. But if they can get down towards Sosnovka, they can make a comfortable rotate over towards that eastern bridge. We'll see if anyone tries to hold them out, but likely Thundertalks are going to hold in. Milta does have to drop down, takes a bit of damage from that leap as well. This is a slightly sad start, but it should get better, unless Fourth Rise tries to get involved in this one.
It'd be a risky maneuver for him to full commit, full send, hop behind the wheel, put the pedal to the metal and chase them down. But they're still raining out shots. IQ is the tool for the job as well.
QSS, not the best weapon in the world, but when you've got no vest, no helmet, it will hurt, and comes pre-installed with that scope. Just like acrobatics on display right now from APG.
The outlines.
Yeah, parkour. A bit of a
terrifying, man.
Yeah, a bit of a jungle gym for them.
Just constantly trying to get out of there, keep their noses clean, but already some obscene plays thrown into the mix. Nongshim Red Force up against Fireflux there. Madcap being able to find one of those for free.
I'll tell you what, as much as some of the players from Nongshim Red Force have very much frustrated me in the past, I do respect that no matter what, they're just going to keep giving it. They're going to keep being aggressive. They're not changing anything. And I think that's a mindset that can really affect you going into the finals, where you want to play passive, you want to get those points, you want to get placements on board. But for Nongshim Red Force, fair enough. Some of these engagements, some of these fights, you're going to mess up. You're going to do something a little insane. But here in the playoffs, I welcome a bit of insanity.
time to pull it out. This was the opening knock onto Doc C. From distance, Macap being able to spot onto that one and restrict him. Alter Ego as well. A little establishing shot of that rotate round from Regnum Karia, but one man's trapped amongst it. Oh, Loxy, you have been left hung out to dry as the rest of the team realized they had to commit to the getaway, so they find that one for free.
Origo started off pretty quickly on that last game, looking to do it again here. They get themselves down into a nice position on that southeast side. Sadly, Regnum Karia will lose a player off the back of that. But they're no strangers to these types of circles. Usually do have a fair amount of success on them. Losing a player at this stage of the game does hurt them, though.
Power versus Thundertorts. Okay, Power. Let's see if the energy levels are still carrying on. Punching their way through this lobby pretty convincingly. They find Jin getting knocked down immediately. No one else really around to assist as well.
Power pushing up. This is not a bad spot for Power either. They can play this. Regnum Karia do move up. Bumper cars in play. Easy's attempting to get out of there. Bullets raining on the vehicle, but not quite hitting their mark.
I'm surprised he was actually able to get out there so confidently. I mean, you've just crashed straight into him, no follow-up from it. He gets away, and obviously for Regnum Karia, you're at a disadvantaged fight. That would have at least been an equalization in the battle of attrition. If they took down Easy, it would have been a 3 versus 3.
And they could have probably pulled that game out a little bit longer. I think for Yangon Galacticos, though, as well as APG, they're one of the few teams out on the western side and down towards the south that just have not found a home here over towards that southeast side, where most teams are confirming their position. There have been a couple of times where we've seen more teams spread out over towards Mansion and around Shelter, and likely on this circle it does center up around Mini Milter as well as Milter itself. And this is the smart choice from all sending central. Does give some more time for squads on the outer edge to play this game slowly, though.
Back on screen here as well. DRX, again, another team that was looking relatively impressive. Whenever we've seen them in terms of those later circles, the communication's been really good. Hyunbin's had some huge pop-off plays as well. It's always fun to watch. On this one, they get a lot of time to ponder and think. Team Secret, of course, you had that late finish, coming second in the previous game. See what they can do here. It's Saycloud that's just off in the distance. Bernat that gets contact. Few shots fired in towards the vehicles, trying to trace them down. Hefty chip.
Not a bad shot towards Jack. He has to switch vehicles, though. Knows that that buggy is not long for this world. We'll just heal up using the bandies. Yangon Galacticos similarly in a rough scenario. We're heading over towards stage 2. They've not quite found themselves over towards the circle just yet. We're waiting for that shift, because if it is down towards Milter Power or Milter Way, suddenly becomes very, very hard for a lot of these teams that are rotating in late to get too much success off the back of it. APG's just been sitting pretty down towards military base this entire time. Oh, okay. That is a big one. That's going to create a real traffic jam down that southeast side. Hard to rotate up on the east around the crates here, Jackie. Oh, dear, dear me. Not a bad opportunity for the boys over on APG, though, to sidle in over towards that eastern bridge and get a loot crate delivered to them on the way.
Yeah, potential as well, with all the team's focus being turned ahead of them with the swift rotations that now have to be made. They could backdoor into it. Fire Flux straight in versus Power as well. Seems like Al Haji is swiftly been handled, and you get the follow-up onto Fahidan. So already you're able to strip them down to just 2 players on Power. Easy sprints into the building. Oh, good for the first with the DBS, but Ketch replies straight back.
Easy was locked in there. You see the way he was moving? Send away with just Ragnar on side. This was a horrible shift on the circle back up towards the northwest, but gives a great opportunity now for Yangon to play out a smooth game.
A lot lot that can be done for this team. And for Fireflux, she'll take all the bells and whistles that come with that nice crash over onto power as well. Steal away all the additional supplies, reset yourself and focus up. This is DRX that have been ushered further around with the readjustment on the zone, just inches away from Nongshim Red Force. To peek out through the window, seeing if they can find anything from this. Better be careful though, Tizzy and Binny have been very lethal today.
Yeah, I mean, Doxy is a nice long-range player, quite good in the close quarters combat as well, but the Tizzy, Zizzy, Binny show fair few times. Does sound almost like a cartoon, to be honest with you.
They get some solid reviews though. Ratings would be through the roof of how they've been playing.
On at prime time. It is exciting watching Nongshim Red Force. APG finally making this move. Like I said, they got a loot crate delivered to them, which was awesome. Ida is holding though. It's a smart maneuver from Ida. One that might just pay off, especially if they are confident that APG is going to be moving through late, which possibly means here that APG is going to have to wait on the outer edges. Top goes for something very aggressive. They're going to try and swipe right over towards the beachhead and deny those sight lines, and Ida has absolutely nothing to say about it.
Yeah, it looked like they were clued into the situation. We're going to hold this in a nice crossfire, but instead you kind of leave one man out. When it's lonesome and dark here. To jump in the back of the buggy and try and make a quick getaway from it, link up with the rest of the squads. They're not at a disadvantage, but you get over the bridge and back onto the mainland now.
Back over towards the east. Prison as well as Shelter. Limited cover in some of these areas. Prison does set yourself up nicely up towards the rocky outcrops and the high ground, but no one's really sending into Prison unless it's a absolute desperate maneuver. So that cuts out a little bit of playing space. I can't imagine we're going to have 16 teams going into Zone 4, though.
Something will start to change soon. Top offering up a short back and sides to Ida, trying to trim them down from a distance on the coastline. Meanwhile, DRX thrown into a third-person fight as well there versus Fireflux.
Yangon Galacticos going for a wide wrap up towards Prison side. I think it's a smart maneuver as well, Jackie, all things considered, because they know a lot of teams must have shifted back up over towards the northwest and might have left those areas a little bit more dry in terms of players. It's a bit of a bold maneuver, but with the information you have, it's probably the best informational play you can go for at this stage of the game, especially if you're just trying to stay quiet and get over that 128-point mark. How is not down?
Damn. Tries to get the quick connection off. Rapid peek in. Great follow-up, and that's how Thunder Talks get removed. So that's that first squad falling now. We get our answer.
Yeah, Thunder Talks out. I mean, they've just not had the greatest of playoffs, really. In 36 points, the bottom of the tables. DRX, though, comfortably will hold on to that one around Milter, but they've got further to go. And here's APG, in fact, looking to get the toothpick out and clean out the remainder of DRX inside of Milton. If they can do that, they will control nicely down towards the south edge, and they know that DRX has been forced in an uncomfortable spot now.
Ooh, this is problematic though. Top further ahead. They're able to find that angle into the building and get the knock on him. That's from way back up on the hillside with Fireflux.
Doc, why are we peeking that? That's a crazy maneuver. I get that, you know, he has teammates that can come in, but what are we going to do? Another teammate comes through, peeks, almost goes down. Potentially might have had 3 players going down there, losing durability on helmets and vests. Just get your boy up, all right? Top's probably shouting at him, like, just res me. Like, that's all I need right now.
First on the drive-by inside of that hovercraft, all the bullets smashing into it. He's getting torn to shreds as well. So many squads having vision onto him.
Very, very overzealous maneuver. I don't quite know what was going on in his head at that moment in time. I know they want to get into the circle, but you've got bare information going into it. There's plenty of players that can sit around those hilltops as well. I suppose he thought he could get further in the hovercraft, but there was some serious team shots onto that vehicle, and I know that a lot of players hate how that hovercraft can get players and teams into pretty notable areas of the map, so as soon as they see it, they see red.
And this to me is starting to look a little bit like Alpha coming into this one, maybe quite antsy today. Some of the decision making, the way they're jittering a little bit. Feels like the nerves might be there, the pressure that could potentially be put on them and from the environment we're in here on Smash Sunday.
It's always so uncomfortable not hitting match point game 1 because then it sends you in a bit of a spiral where every single game, therefore, if you're like, well, we just need a passive game, just need 10 points. That's all we need to grab in these matches. Let's kind of pull this back. Let's reassess the scenario going forward. Most of the time, you should just play your own game. Don't think about Smash ruling, especially for Yangon as well as APG. Not sure what happened there with T24 and IQ, but especially for Yangon and APG, they were so far ahead, it doesn't matter. They just need to play out a regular match of PUBG Mobile for themselves, eventually hit that marker. What is happening?
What on earth has gone on there?
T24 nade full team knock. You see a replay. That's like Max's nade of the day right there.
Yeah, max a minimum on that one. We'll forget about that. Focus up on this. Nonshin Red Force versus Fireflux. Throwing out fists inside of the building. Close quarters engagements with our third party of DRX trying to get a look in as well and see if they can snatch points from this. As we do lose out on Scarface, Matcap goes down, so the Fireflux cleaned out on this one. Alter Ego with the read over on the side. It's Krypton that's quick to the hit. So with Hyunbin falling, the RX starting to lose some manpower as well.
Yeah, more shots coming through. Great rotate from APG, by the way. They saw this fight break out between DRX, Nocturne Red Force, and Fireflux. That was their direct competition on that north side. They used that moment to swing round to the west. So I really enjoyed that coming through from APG. Don't even want to think about what happened in the Four Thrives camp. I think they're quite frustrated with what just occurred.
Yeah, that is a comedy of errors that you will be very quickly clambering to forget. Meanwhile, though, you're going to be having your eyes light up if you're a fan for Yangon as they're in with 3 eliminations off the back of that.
Oh, getting a replay. Don't show us the replay. I'm glad they at least didn't show us the Molotov as well. Dear me. Yangon, though, that is 3 separate teams they've been involved on. It was Team Secret, Ida, as well as Alter Ego, and they just keep going. They just keep going on that one.
At this point, even just off elims alone, I mean, only 4 more to find now. You've already grabbed yourself so much stock inside of this game, and it's very early doors. We're already 17 minutes in.
Yangon Galacticos down towards plenty of teams, and they took advantage of that high ground that Prison affords you on that eastern side. They knew they were lacking information and they're coming in from that northwest, so they change up the game and they use the plane map as well as the circle that came through to identify an area on the map that might be a little bit more open. They can start to develop that intel.
The Arena Gladiators swinging and showing us they're handy with steel up against Team Secret, but the clap back from the hillside is Yangon that try and get a spot down and see if it's worth committing to this one. I know there's been a fair amount of chip damage and there's even more follow-up coming in as well.
I think when you look over towards E-Arena as well, the fact that they delay them here almost certainly should count them out because the circle is going to push them in. They are on the short side of it, so it will take a little bit more time, but all Yangon Galacticos really need to do now is just send a couple of shots, a couple of bee stings down towards E-Arena and keep them locked down.
It's not just that Yangon are playing well, it's that Alpha are obviously having a real struggle of a game as well. I mean, it's just Joel now. You have the sideline shots that came in from Falcons as they were trying to make their way over. So it's just down to the solo man.
Again, another game where likely APG is not making it over the match point. Rests on the shoulders of Yangon. should get at least 4 points off the back, or at maximum 4 points off the back of E-Arena. This moment will be stolen away by Horror. That could have been right there, right then. If they took out the entirety of E-Arena, Yangon would have made it. Need to get themselves into placements range now, though.
I honestly think that's what they were debating as well. You can see kind of the difference in the two players that were further up, almost feeling like if they went for that one, it would have been worth the risk and reward potential. Falcons back over onto Alter Ego, giving as good as they get, with Nonshin also looking to see if they can snatch away some points from this.
Falcons actually not playing a terrible game right now over towards the south side. They are roaming, they are making sure they keep track of a lot of the players coming through. The circle will start to push E-Arena in. Now for Yangon Galacticos, this is less of a matter about battling against E-Arena and more of a case of battling against Horror, stealing away these eliminations.
It's Myrna and SayCloud that have basically just had to prevent anyone sneaking in from the backline, whilst the raw focus from Romeo and co is just thrown down the hill onto E-Arena. They're finally getting what they were building into on this one and converting those knocks into full eliminations, take down the squad, mop them up, and keep those elims building. 7 elims, 1 single point away from beating the 128 barrier now.
So Yangon Galacticos just need to get themselves into 8. That's all they need. Krypton tries to take it up towards the Falcons, but they will swing back with the wings, blast them away with the Air Force. Now just Regnum Kaya up top side. Can Falcons make a push through 2 teams? It will be a good result for them, and something we've not seen for quite some time.
So many nades thrown at Toshbik. Had to give up the cover he had to play with. He's trying to see if he can get an angle. Ooh. If you got the shot back over, it's that backline with Narvalo and Koa. You could completely fragment the Falcons, leave them in a position where potentially they can start to take the fight to them. Silas rocks over as well, makes his rotate in the back of the buggy, looks for the peek up. They might have got the pick-me-up, sure, but can they still hold on to this ground?
Falcons looking over towards Silas, who backs straight back in towards the buggy. Hits the deck. Smile with 4 elims on the side of Yangon Galacticos and looking not to let that kind of pace let up anytime soon. He wants to keep on pedaling. Myrna now setting his sights over towards Wild. It's a bit more chip damage here.
It's kind of a 3-1 split with how they're playing it as well. I mean, Myrna is going in towards Regnam, whereas you've got Smile still just looking for the vision back over on towards Horror, with 2 players in the center there for the quick rotate depending on where the favored fight goes. Meanwhile, Zol, the last man from Alpha, is spotted with a wrap over from 4 Fribes. Oh, Toshbik goes for the peek out, but it doesn't work. Narvalo, quick, hits that one back.
Falcons with 9 eliminations, Jackie. This is a big step up in performance from them today. Weibo as well, getting some good results in over towards 4 Thrives, who have not been thriving on that southwest side. The Falcons, they see weakness, and they'll send in.
Narvalo unloads. The hailstorm hits onto Falak T24. Trying to scrap back, but not much that can be done, as Koa will restrict and remove the potential for any comeback for T24 and Koa on that one. So goodbye 4 Thrives. Unfortunately, the Falcons might have finally come unstuck. Shots down on the 3 of the players. Only 1 man remains alive. Meanwhile, Jiggle looking for the head-to-head versus Yangon.
Gigantic game from Falcons, honestly. 11 elims, very, very nice. They won't go any further than that. Weibo Gaming looking to catch up to the Titans at the top of the lobby. Another nade sent through in the Molotov, as well as a nade towards the back, but Romeo will at least hit Jiggle with that molly. Burns him out. In the meantime, Murnat will pick up Silas. Sleepy gets lucky there on that bounce, didn't he?
For Yangon, the job is done of all they wanted to establish on this one, pushing past that 128 barrier and making it to the match point for the smash rule. They're focused now on how far can they go in this game. Strike fear into the other squads with how they've been playing.
Yangon, Romeo's down, and they're going to send in with SayCloud. No fear will be taken out. But they need another game after this one with a chicken dinner. Sky, though, from Horror, putting in the work, and Weibo still holding on that south side, Jackie. Good shot from Sky, dear me.
Really crisp stuff. Yangon have finally met their match in Horror with how they've been able to play. Wide open angles and quick shots from Sky. Mernat, though, frustrated, wants to grab even more points for them, push further up the standings, and leaves these squads knowing that if you come to the best, you better be able to strike them down.
Weibo needs to get moving, though. Like, this is a fight that they could capitalize off the back of. Yangon needs to push up the hill, and Weibo's had no influence here. Order finally looks over. SayCloud is down, and do the boys want to move over towards his way? He's gathering as much information as possible. Now with the big weapons in the back pocket, looks to put the hurt in. Ragnar with an off angle towards the back. Order jump spotting. SayCloud's still down. Might have just not seen him there.
They've both got so much utility to work with here as well. In a position to provide themselves some better sight lines, get those smokes down. Nades for the engage as well. A good range of different placements in terms of where these players are. If the fight kicks off, they can get angles onto you, even if you only slightly peek back into it. Mernat inside of the vehicle, hit heavy by Order. There goes the first man.
It's good timing as well as the circle starts to push in. Brilliant timing, in fact. They can delay as much as possible, will make life very hard for Yangon.
And Power. Of course, it was Ragnar that was left as the solo so long ago. The last man representing the organization, trapped in position with he just guarding his only exit.
Yeah, just needs to worry about the blue, essentially, and that'll do the trick. Now Weibo can set their sights completely over towards Yangon Galacticos. They have a man advantage, but positioning is not great for them.
Surprised SayCloud was able to keep himself alive. He dived in behind the tree in the loot crate. There's a nade that's going to be cast towards his position, but he's topped himself back up. The heal comes through in the nick of time. Meanwhile, the shots uphill are good for damage, but the knock is confirmed onto SayCloud.
Really important knock there coming through from he on a side swipe. Mernat tries to make his way across. A very important game, not only for Yangon Galacticos, but also Weibo. 91 points. And if they win this game, they'll shoot themselves up towards the century mark, over into the 100, set themselves up for later on in the day.
So much riding on this.